These are the locusts. Now, what are the lessons of the locusts? Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. King James says they go forth by bands. We have grasshoppers for you here this summer. We have grasshoppers and crickets and katydids and cicadas, and don't you love the night sounds? Yes. Aren't they terrific? You know, there are three things going on there. One is called their congregational song. It's just their enjoyment of being together. These are technically the words they use to describe the kinds of things. Then there are their alarm songs. When something is wrong, there's a different little melody, and they sing that to each other. And then there are the courtship songs. And I think it's nice to remember, and males produce this, isn't that a happy thought? The males produce these courtship songs, and if they ever bother you at night to have a little trouble going to sleep, just think about those romantic melodies that the cicadas are singing to each other. Well now, what you see here is not, we have very few of these. They're a little out toward New Mexico and get out a little bit into our part, and there might be a few around, but mainly our crickets and so forth, they are very happy and very content, and they behave themselves. This particular locust is a migratory locust. Now, the migratory locusts are the ones that get mean. They are genetically programmed, and I think there are terrific lessons in this. They are genetically programmed that when they are under great stress, like a drought, and then there's a rain, they go, and during all that, the period before that stress, they are living solitary lives. This is called the solitary phase or stage of the locust. But when they get under this stress, and then there's a rain, that's when they amazingly take on this brilliant coloration of this bright yellow or orange and black. And that's when they swarm. And of course, the desert is a very, and this happens, of course, where there are these inhospitable terrains for them, like the Middle East. And that's when you get these giant strains. About 100 years ago, there was measured a swarm of locusts going across the Red Sea, 2,000 square miles of locusts. Okay, I was just staggered. 40 by 50 square miles, solid locusts. And you can understand the plagues that are described in the Scriptures. And they go, actually, it's interesting, when they swarm, they are in their gregarious phase. Now, without the meanness, that's what we're going to experience here this summer in this canyon. We're going to be in our gregarious phase. Now, what is the wisdom of the locust? The wisdom of the locust. They have no king, but they stay together in bands. The lesson of participation. The lesson of teamwork. You know, the most graphic illustration I know in the last little while about the lessons of locusts participation. Is there anybody here that kept up with the Spurs-Lakers series? Yeah. I want to tell you, the San Antonio Spurs, all the commentators were saying, they don't have the talent of the Los Angeles team. But the difference is They are a team. They are not 5 lone wolves out there each doing his own thing, being his own showboat. They are out there as a unit, and that's the reason they swept the Lakers 4 out of 7 series. They swept them 4 straight. And folks, that is the lesson of the Locust. It is our teamwork here this summer. And to be a good team player is not easy. This is the world and the church. The lesson of participation is the lesson of the church. You see, we are out here as the church, not the institutional church. We are out here. The institutional church is the gathered church in the building, having worship. We are the church scattered into the world of camping. And this is the scattered church. You are the scattered church. That is the message of this canyon. That the crucial thing is our relationships with each other. The crucial thing is our friendships with each other, that only Christ can really make what they are intended to be. Jesus was known as the friend of sinners. And that means he was friends with everybody, and that's what all of us treasure. That he's a friend of even me. And the key to the way it works this summer will be your friendships with your campers. Whether they're already believers, or whether they're not yet believers. The quality of your friendships and your relationships, and that will pivot on your relationships with each other. If your relationships with each other get fouled up, inevitably it will foul up the relationships with the campers. And it may not be intangible, but the camper, they won't know what they're feeling or not feeling. They somehow won't know it has the same warmth and magnetism and attractiveness and power that when the relationships with each other are